Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. Welcome to today's topic on famous world leaders. Famous world leaders. We have about 7 world leaders we want to talk about in the course of this lesson. But for this first part, we will take those 4 leaders and then we'll treat the second part in our next lesson. So the leaders we are looking at in this lesson, the first one is George Washington. That's the first image. We have Abraham Lincoln, you have Mahatma Gandhi, and you have Emperor Haile Selassie. These 4 leaders are the characters who will treat their attributes, their contributions to humanity, and how they've used their leadership skills to contribute to the effective growth of human race. So that's for the first part of the lesson. In the second lesson, that is in the next lesson, we'll treat those remaining 3 leaders, 3 famous world leaders: Kwame Nkrumah, Martin Luther King Jr., then Nelson Mandela. These 3 leaders, Kwame Nkrumah is from Ghana, Martin Luther King is United States of America, Nelson Mandela was a leader in South Africa and he fought against apartheid. These leaders have helped to emancipate people in some times past. The first leader that I want to discuss today is George Washington. George Washington was born in 1732 and he died in 1799, okay? So George Washington is famous for being the father of American independence. He was the first president of America, and Americans declared their independence in 1776. The next leader is Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was born in 1809 and he died in 1865. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of America. He is one of the greatest leaders in the world history. He's famous for fighting against slavery. Okay? While in Congress, Lincoln began to speak against slavery. In April 15, 1865, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by a crazy Southern actor, John Wilkes Booth, who supported slavery. The next leader is Mahatma Gandhi, 1869 to 1948. Gandhi became one of the leaders of Indian nationalist struggle. He fought for independence of India. Now, he graduated from law school from the University College, London. Okay, Gandhi became one of the leaders of Indian nationalist struggle. Now, he believed that Indians should have the right to govern themselves. Many people obeyed and they respected these views. He used some means such as sit-in and hunger strike. India was finally granted independence in 1947, but unfortunately, Gandhi did not live to see a free India. He was shot dead on his way to his evening prayer meeting on January 30th, 1948. Gandhi used non-violent means like hunger strikes and sit-ins in his fight for independence. Now let's look at Emperor Haile Selassie, 1892 to 1975. Haile Selassie was a good leader, supported a policy of modernization for Ethiopia. He also secured Ethiopia's admission into the League of Nations in 1923 after the First World War. In 1931, he abolished the slave trade in the Ethiopian Empire, and that same year, he introduced Ethiopia's first written constitution. He spent 5 years in exile and returned back. The Rastafarians of Jamaica believed that Haile Selassie was an incarnation of God. He died on August 27, 1975. It is widely believed that he was suffocated in his sleep. Look at our lesson review. Our lesson review, we're told that George Washington was an American president famous for being the father of American independence. And then one of Abraham Lincoln's achievements was his fight for his country's independence, becoming the 16th American president, and the abolishment of slave trade. Gandhi used the non-violent means, hunger strikes and sitting, as a means to struggle against the British government. Then Haile Selassie, that is Emperor Haile Selassie, he was a good leader. He tried to abolish the slave trade in Ethiopian Empire, and that same year he introduced Ethiopian first written constitution, although he went on an exile, but later he returned. So today we have learned about famous leaders of the world. These leaders have influenced man greatly in a whole lot of forms. Okay, we have George Washington and other leaders too who have contributed immensely to mankind. Mahatma Gandhi, okay, he's from India. He fought for the independence of India. So he is an Indian freedom fighter, an activist of non-violence, and is always standing for the truth. Then we had Abraham Lincoln from United States of America, the 16th president of America, okay? He's a statesman and he abolished slavery in America. Although he was assassinated, but he fought a good fight with his leadership skills. Now we had George Washington. He was the first president of the United States of America, always or fondly called the father of United States of America. Okay, so these were great famous leaders who used their leadership skills to emancipate humanity. Thank you for watching this video, and please do ensure to complete your assignment in social studies for primary schools, book 6 by Adisa Bakare and co. You're doing exercises 52, pages 5 and 6, numbers 1 to 9. Do ensure to complete your work, have fun learning, and be good.